Starting with a basic line drawing, and I mean a basic line drawing, just a very, very simple map of the image that I'm working on. What I'm doing here is I'm putting in the darkest darks. I'm being very, very careful to get the paint applied thinly. Even though I'm working with a knife, it's possible to apply the paint in quite a thin layer. And I find it's important to do that because apart from working from dark to light, which is what I'm doing, I'm also working from thin to thick. So the thicker layers of paint tend to be the lighter layers of paint. And that way it works really, really well. And you'll find that as you're laying layers over and over and over, the painting works better. The impasto just seems to just come together much more clearly if you work from thin to thick as you're doing it. What I'm doing here is I'm just putting in the far distance first. I'm looking at the layers of the painting and trying to work so that I bring the painting forward to create some kind of notion of perspective. I'm not going for a deep perspective. This isn't some sort of Renaissance perspective idea, but I'm also not flattening the picture plane. I'm working gradually from the back to the front, and the further forward that I get, the bolder the strokes that I'm going to use, as you can see. One of the most interesting things in watching yourself putting paint on, which is something that we rarely get to do unless you start recording like this, is watching the way that I'm handling the knife. If you watch my fingertips on the handle of the knife, you'll see that sometimes I'm holding the knife like a trowel, I suppose, and other times I'm holding it very, very gently just with my fingertips. And all the time I'm just trying to make different types of marks. Coming into the near foreground here, I'm being very careful not to overwork any of the areas. I want to try and keep a freshness to the paint. And it's very easy in this sort of situation to overwork the paint, and the whole thing becomes a big gooey mess rather than a painting that's delineated. I'm just coming up now to working on the water, and what you can see I'm doing here is I'm putting more dark in, but this is a combination of ultramarine and black that's going to be, again, it's very thinly put on, but it's going to be still wet as the white paint goes over the top of it. So sometimes the white will pick up the blue, and other times I can just paint it over the top so that it drags over the top. And some of the marks that I'm making are fluid, and some of them are drags, and you can see just as I'm doing it there, you're getting an effect that's like falling water, with the way that the water separates as it drops down. And that's it. It's more or less it. I'm just filling in now, touching it up and trying to get the picture, just highlights going in and trying to get a perfection to the whole thing. And that's it. That's the lot.